Dr. Geeta, Madam, and Dr. Swarna for giving me a chance. So, my topic is pollution and the cancer. This is a need for action nowadays. So, amongst the various diseases, cancer has become a big threat to human beings globally. As per Indian population census data, rate for mortality due to cancer in India was high and alarming, with about 9 million existing cases. This is a scenario which we can all see. There are lot many pesticides in our fields, and lot many dirty water pouring all throughout the drinking water sources, even the magnetic sources and all the natural things which pollute our environment. So, what is the period of vulnerability to disruption by environmental factors? There is so much involvement, starting right from the blastocyst stage to embryo to the infant and even the child adolescent. So, every stage is being affected by the environmental pollution. It's said that environmental exposure starts even in the womb and can affect throughout the life. So children, including adolescents, are exposed to a variety of hazards from the environment in which they live, they learn, and that play. That is data by the WHO. So cancer is the second most common disease in India, responsible for maximum mortality with about 0.3 million deaths per year. This is owing to the poor availability of prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of the diseases. All types of cancer have been reported in Indian populations. These are air pollution, water pollution, and exposure to EDCs. These all are responsible for causing different type of cancer. One of the major important causative factor is the water pollution, and we see that many different water pollutants increase the risk of cancer. Exposure to these pollutants can occur by drinking contaminated water or by bathing, even showering or swimming in it. So chemicals used in the disinfectants are also carcinogenic. So if we see that understanding the link between water pollution and cancer, water pollution is a significant environmental concern for its potential to increase the risk of cancer amongst the population exposed. Certain chemicals found in polluted water sources are known carcinogenic. So what are known carcinogenic? These are the arsenic found naturally in Earth's crust, can even leach into the groundwater, posing a significant cancer risk, including skin, lung, bladder, and kidney cancer. Other is the chlorinated even solvents. These are the industrial chemicals used in manufacturing processes, can contaminate groundwater and increasing the risk of liver and kidney cancer. Can you imagine? Polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons produced by the incomplete combustion of organic material are found in polluted water sources and are associated with lung, bladder, and the skin cancer. So, prolonged exposure to these all carcinogenic through contaminated drinking water or recreational activities can increase the risk of developing various types of cancers. So, if we see that maximum water pollution that occur in the sea by the sewage, by the farm runoff, and that is the different content that I have shown in this picture. So what is our duty? What can we do? We have to update water treatment facilities, enhance the watershed protection program to reduce the contamination of the surface water. We reduce the pollution by promoting the green chemistry. That is our duty. Our duty is to ensure that the current drinking water standard should be there. This is the scenario of the air pollution that is responsible for the cancer. You see that air pollution can increase the cancer risk, especially of the lung cancer. As we see, people are exposed to diesel exhaust from the railroad, bus, garage, and the trucking. Major sources of air pollution can include industrial sources, as we see in many industrial cities, power plant, and the motor vehicles. So the major sources are the industry, that is very well shown in this figure. So what can we do here? Again, increase the enforcement of the current regulatory standards, continue to improve standard based upon monitoring data and related health studies, support the development and adoption of the innovative non-polluting technology, and expand and support and incentive to the use of public and group transportation services. This is smoking, which is very important, another cause of the cancer. Passive smoking, do you think that this is responsible? Yes, this is also responsible. Even the passive smokers, that is a cigarette smoker, that nearby person can have effect and may develop cancer. This is responsible for cancer, especially heart disease and various lung diseases can be there. Even non-smoker exposed to second-hand tobacco smoke increase their risk of lung cancer. So passive smoking is very important. We have to see about it also. So how cancer develops? Cancer risk is influenced by exposure to many different factors, including agents like general environment, even the diet. We see the genetic inheritance is also very important. Reproductive factors are there, and other lifestyle. Lifestyle is very important. Low level of exposure depends not only on what a person is exposed to, but also the timings of exposure is very important. For how long there is an exposure. So a short prescription to prevent the cancer. What is it? This is enforce and update environmental regulations, upgrade the water treatment facilities, support the cancer research, create a new chemical regulatory system, identify the safe alternative to cancer contributing substances, and acknowledge that while scientific certainty is seldom possible when sufficient evidence was harm existing, we have a duty to act to prevent this harm. This is a slide by FIGO that shows that even reproductive organs, various reproductive organs that are being affected by environmental pollutions. So our environment is our life. The health status of an individual is determined by the interplay of the two factors, the internal environment of the body and surrounding external environment. So clean air, potable water and toxin-free diet goes a long way in ensuring the good health. Unfortunately, the air we breathe, the water we drink and the food we eat are becoming increasingly polluted. More industries are built and more chemicals are used in agriculture to meet the growing needs of the society. So we have to work on it. EDCs. What are EDCs? Are they responsible for cancer? Yes. EDCs are chemicals or the mixtures of chemicals that interfere with the way the body's hormone they work. So what are the known EDCs? These are the pesticides, these are the ingredients in the household products and the material, the solvents, the industrial ingredients, the pharmaceutical and many metals. They act as EDCs. So these EDCs, high EDCs exposure during the fetal development and the childhood can have long-lasting even health effect. Early life exposure have been linked to development of various abnormalities and even increased incidence of these malignancies later in the life. These EDCs are even being excreted in breast milk, and it is seen that breast cancer is being affected incidence by this. There are so many EDCs which we are being exposed in our day-to-day life. Can you imagine? Although there is lot much of discussion that the food we eat in day-to-day life, there are lot many of pesticide spray. So we are being exposed to DDT, chloropyrifos, atrazine, etc. The children products, lead and phthalate, cadmium. Many children, you have seen that they are sucking these plastic products, and that is very harmful. The plastics and the food storage materials, the food which we are packing day to day, the plastic, that is again containing PCBs. And even electronic and the building material which is there nearby you. The personal care products even. Do you see the label of the sunscreen and the different chemicals that lotions, skin lotions which you apply that may contain even paraben, UV filters, many things. These are very damaging and may cause future skin cancer even. Triclosan, antibacterial soap, Colgate Total even that also contain these EDCs. Perfluorochemicals, textile clothing, non-stick food, wrappers, even microwave, popcorn bags, and the old Teflon cookwares. All contain these EDCs. These EDCs, by the different names, alkylating agents, lead and mercury, they cause different affection on the genital tract, can cause even granulosa cell toxicity, oocyte toxicity, endometrial cell toxicity, which I have written in this table. So, other are the cadmium, azathioprine, chlorodecone, DDT, 2,4-D, linden, toxaphane, and PCBs. These all effects, these are the EDCs in the different. They act on the pituitary, hypothalamus, ovary, and can have a wide effect on the reproductive system. The literature is full of these type of things which show that there is a definite effect of these EDCs on reproductive system and can cause cancer. There is a very good literature that this PCOD is now linked with pesticide spray and all the EDCs, and that is responsible for the endometrial cancer later on. We just see. This is a picture. Have you seen? This is a picture of the developing countries. All the dump material plastics. Therefore, our government have started banning these plastics that have been dumped in these developing countries. Especially many of the developed countries were even dumping these type of the material in developing countries. So that is very bad for us. Exposure to mercury, especially among the dental assistant working without appropriate protective measures, that also exposes them to these EDCs. They interfere with the endocrine system. Occupational pulmonary diseases, especially in cases of dry cleaning industries, they are being also exposed to these EDCs. And workers acting in the laboratory technician using recombinant DNA techniques and workers of the petrochemicals are exposed to increased risk of cytogenic alteration and mutagenic effects in both the somatic and the embryonic tissues. So, pesticides as well as the ionic radiations, both are responsible for all this. I think many of us are using these hot blankets. There is a more and more trend to use all these. But these again can cause development of cancer, even in the birth defects and the reproductive effects. The electromagnetic spectrum, especially, we all are using MRI exposure more and more can cause increased incidence of malignancies. Microwaves, which we all have in our home, MRI and other electronic apparatus, we are always with the Wi-Fi network and using the mobile, that again exposes us to all this electromagnetic radiation. So there is lot much of evidence regarding this. What is now our duty? What can we do regarding this? Might green chemistry help? Yes. The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. But this is our own duty that we have to work for it and take a step forward. So there are recommendations which I already discussed. There are 4 recommendations that we have to follow, and the following is a list of precautionary steps that we can take to minimize the exposure. Thoroughly wash the fruits and vegetables before consuming them. Don't microwave the plastic food containers or do not use them for storing the hot liquids. Avoid plastic containers. Reduce consumption of the canned and the processed food. Use glass, porcelain or the stainless steel containers when possible, especially for the hot drinks. Consider using a water filter if possible. Purchase organic products. and dairy products. Replace older and the non-stick pans with the newer ceramic coated pans. Always we should look all these things in our home and nearby. For exercise and activity, check the air quality. Exercise near high traffic areas should be discouraged. What about the personal care? Always, whenever you are using any personal care things, always read the label. See whether this is a phthalate free, BPA free, and paraben free or not. See that avoid the fragrances and opt for the cosmetic label. No synthetic fragrance scented only by the essential oil. Wash your hands often. Minimize the handling the receipt and the thermal paper, which we have started in the corona periods. Replace and discard safely old fluorescent bulb and the deteriorating construction material. Very important. Minimize the burning wood or trash. Forbid smoking and remove dust from your home. Plant more trees which filter out airborne gases and particulate material. So what is the conclusion? Toxic environmental exposure happens every day, everywhere, and harm human, predisposing to cancers and reproductive problems. Preventing exposure should be priority for the cancers and reproductive health. Environmental chemicals cross borders through trade, food, wind, and the water. A global perspective is needed to ensure quality and health for all. Policies to address toxic chemicals should be there, and policies that address toxic chemicals must protect the health of all the vulnerable population. So this is time to action. Thank you very much. This is the natural ecology, and that should be maintained. Rather, we should avoid this pouring dirty water in this water bodies. So every day should be celebrated as a green day. Go green. चलो इस धरती को रहने योग्य बनाएं, चलो इस धरती को रहने योग्य बनाएं, सभी मिलकर हर रोज विश्व पर्यावरण दिवस बनाएं. इसी के साथ.
Thank you, madam. It was a very elaborate and a good talk.